Hello, guys. My name is Rosa Pena, and today I'm going to be talking about my documentary, which was called Rape for Profit. So the film was about rape. It was about the sex trafficking that occurs in Seattle, as well as it depicts of how the girls starting from the age of 12 and 13 are selling their body for the profit for someone else. So these young girls are being forced into sex trafficking, a way of slavery as well, and many are captured and forced into prostitution, as well as an up close look about the horrible reality of sex trafficking. So these girls all start from a really young age and they become sex slaves, and they go into prostitution by their pimps, and they make money for their pimps because the pimp supports them with the home or food. And usually um, they this movie is occurring in Seattle, so there was many statistics that were shown throughout the documentary. So it showed that 90% of young people who are in commercial prostitution have been sexually abused. And the sad thing about this documentary is that many of these girls are all vulnerable. So they all came from a broken home, or they were abused by parents, or even parents started selling their bodies at a young age, or they had even, fellow like friends rape their daughters. It was really sad. As well as another sad truth throughout the documentary, it shows that when the girls are too old, the pimp just dumps them, and now they're left on their own. And because prostitution is the only thing they've known their whole life, they go out on the streets and they start selling their body. What else? So usually pimps look for the most vulnerable girls with a bad history slash bad relationship with families. It also shows that 50% of the men who are actually with these women while being prostituted are actually married. So throughout the documentary, the police are usually like out on the street, and usually when they find a prostitute, you can go to jail for that because it is illegal, especially in Seattle. As well as when the documentary, they what they would do is when they would see a woman with a guy in the car, let's say, they would put their flashlights on the car, and then they would talk to the prostitute, um, well, the individual who's into prostitution, or and the male. And throughout the documentary, it showed how the police officer were always telling them, like, how would you like it? Like, do you feel like these girls want to be raped? Do you feel like they want to be doing all of this for you? And the guy would be like, well, if they signed up for it because they're a prostitute. But in the most cases, all these girls are very vulnerable and they came from a broken home, and that's all they really know how to do because they ran away from home, and the pimp has always been that form of security for them. So there's also many forums throughout the documentary that showed that make um, selling your body really easily. For example, Bagpage.com is a website that many individuals use and post pictures of nude girls and sell them online. It's an escort page. As well as women. Unfortunately, women are also madams, and they recruit these young girls and make them feel like they love them and make them feel the warmth, that they're the warmth of a mother, and they actually make them start selling their body. As well as in the documentary, they asked men, why isn't porn enough? And the men said porn porn isn't enough because they want to take it to the further step, and they actually want to have sexual intercourse with the women. So it's more advertisement that's occurring. As well as trafficking victims are also used in the porn industry. So they were talking about how most of these girls were saying that, they do porn for the money, but they're really good at faking the moans and the sounds because they don't want to do it. It's just for the money. So, like I said, police officers are all going on websites. They went on Backpage. They are aware of that, and they started looking at him, trying to help these girls. As well as one of the officers were creating a project to build houses for the young girls to get them out of the streets. It's called the Genesis Project, and it a good thing came out of it. So they ended up actually opening the project, and now they're helping a lot of girls who are being sexually sold, as well as being forced into the sex trafficking. So the crazy part too, some of the facts that I found that were really unfortunate and really sad was that some of the clients that the girls would usually see were lawyers, policemen, and even pastors. So that was really, really crazy to actually be aware of, as well as the clients in the documentary. It portrayed that the clients loved a lot of the younger girls. So a lot of young girls are actually being sold into sex trafficking and prostitution. And then I also found it really sad how pimps prey off of these girls' vulnerability, because they know that they came from a broken home. And another fact that I found that was really sad was that even the Navy like would gang rape women and stuff like that when they didn't have anything like that around. So watching this documentary has really opened my eyes. It's really depicted of the cold world we live in, as well as how these innocent girls were being taken advantage by pimps and other individuals, and how it's just really sad that some parents even do this to their kids. But overall, the documentary is really a really great documentary, and I recommend everyone to watch it.